Guys, it's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Waves Weekly, series I post every weekend where we cover recent news and current events that occurred over the past week that I believe will impact the markets. These episodes are meant to be more chill, so sit back, grab a drink. Right now, I'm personally drinking Guyaki Yerba Mate, sparkling grapefruit ginger flavor. These things are absolutely fire. It's probably been my go-to energy drink for the past month or two now. 45 calories per can, low sugar. Things are fire. Go check them out if you're not. But anyway, cheers to that. Let's get into this. All right, so as always, we'll go over each topic that we're going to be discussing, then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, DXY on TradingView. We're not going to be looking at any charts today. Over the course of the weekend, this is the biggest thing I look at. Obviously, this and Bitcoin, but we're not going to look at them today. I will touch on these in tomorrow's Sunday Stock Watch, though. Okay, so again, all news focused, not going to look at any charts today, so let's cover some news. How Congress could still reach a stimulus deal to get more $1,200 checks to Americans, all right? So this, in my mind, is probably the single most important factor in regard to the markets, not only the equity markets, but Bitcoin, gold, silver, pretty much every market on the planet right now. That's not the dollar. If we do get news, if we do catch wind of getting a $1,200 stimulus check to people, I do think that the dollar will go down and all other assets will go up. All equities will go up. Bitcoin will go up, pretty much everything. But if not, I do think that that is dangerous for equities, for Bitcoin, for gold, for silver, for everything but the dollar. Okay, so we will go over this quick. This is probably the single most important thing, once again, in regard to all markets. Moving on, this is huge. So this is pretty breaking news. As I was researching it, as I was looking over just some news sites, the way I research for all these videos, I stumbled across this as a new article. This is fresh, okay? So Trump says he's approved Oracle deal for TikTok. All right, so this is big. Because just yesterday, literally, they were talking about how TikTok is going to be banned in the App Store. There's no updates. The app itself wouldn't have been shut down until November, but it was not going to be available for download in the App Store starting this Sunday. All right, and that's already been pulled. I think Trump was just trying to evoke response. Trump was just trying to get China to understand that he's being serious about it. And it's very obvious at this point that Trump obviously doesn't think this is a national security threat, because then he would have just shut it down already. It's obviously not a national security threat at this point. If he's just trying to bargain. He's just trying to evoke something from China. He's trying to evoke China, and he did. And I think he definitely got their attention with this, and the deal is now closed. Oracle will be, there is still a few hoops to jump through, but again, you guys, Trump just wanted to get something out of this. He wanted a piece of the pie, and now that he's getting a piece of the pie, which we will look into here, he's cool with it. All right, so that's big news. That's huge news. Moving on from there, opinion IPO like it's 1999, Snowflake and other software stocks pop as market nears Dotcom boom levels. So I've heard this from so many people already that the market is reaching Dotcom levels like in 1999, 2000, which makes perfect sense. This is the most manic market I've ever seen right now. And I just thought this was kind of a cool article, so we will talk about this a little as well. And then we will close it out with, here's everything Apple just announced. So the Apple event just occurred this week. This past week, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Apple. Pretty much every product I use is Apple, in terms of tech at least. But we will go over the biggest, some of the biggest releases. I'll let you guys know what I think about this. And then the biggest one, to be completely honest, which is this. So it's this bundle that Apple released that is huge, and I do think that even though Apple has inflated so much, and I still personally think it's a little overvalued, I mean, this is so freaking bullish for Apple, okay? So we will go over that, close it out there. And of course, I do have my content of the week for you guys. It's another book. I'm just going to start recommending books that I've read in the past that I really like and were really changed my life personally. And this is maybe the number one I would recommend for especially any of you, not even younger, but just any of you individuals looking to kind of start your own thing, go off on your own journey, even if it's just trading, because trading obviously is a very entrepreneurial sport. I've personally been an entrepreneur for my entire adult life. So this book was very pivotal to me, and I'll talk to you guys about it near the end. All right. So as always, before we do dive into it, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Check out my complete portfolio and daily newsletter if you want access to every trade, every position I currently have, and a daily newsletter from myself every trading day during market hours. First link in the description if you're interested. If not, no worries. Let's get into this. Okay. So key points, I just read the title not too long ago. Key points, Congress still has time to pass another coronavirus stimulus package before the election, but time is running out. Republicans and Democrats will need to compromise. If they can seal a deal in coming days, more money, namely stimulus checks, could reach Americans in October. So once again, you guys, this isn't really a distinct piece of news. I think everyone's aware that the Republicans and Democrats in Congress are butting heads. They can't come to a decision. But Trump, Mr. Get things done right now. Trump wants something done. Obviously, Trump wants stimulus in the hands of Americans because if people get checks, if people get another round of checks while he's still president, it makes him look good. Okay, so it really all comes down to him looking good prior to the elections, which I 100% get. But it's not only good for him, it's obviously good for the people, and people do need it. The Fed Reserve in the FOMC meeting just said, and again, this is not really news to anyone. I think everyone believes the same thing. Checks, people need money. People need money. This is a K-shaped recovery win, right? The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And the people who aren't doing too well right now, who really need this money. So they're again, K-shaped, rich are getting richer. They don't need this money. But the poor, the people who weren't doing too hot even before this crisis, are now truly in a crisis. This is truly a crisis for them, okay? So I truly do believe that they at least, I don't know how you could split that, but $1,200 to every single American, similar to the last round of stimulus checks, would once again be very bad for the U.S. dollar and very good for the equity markets, gold, silver, Bitcoin specifically. Okay, so we'll have to see what happens here. Of course, I'll keep you guys posted with this, but this once again, for the fourth time already, is in my mind the single most important factor in regard to every market on earth. Okay, so we will follow that. Moving on, Trump says he's approved Oracle deal for US TikTok. TikTok App Store ban put on hold for a week after Trump nod. New TikTok Global to donate $5 billion to Education Foundation. Donald Trump approved Oracle Corp's bid for the U.S. operations of TikTok in concept, a deal forced by the president's order last month declaring the popular video sharing app a national security threat. I've given the deal my blessing. If they get it done, that's great. If not, that's okay too. Trump told reporters Saturday as he left the White House for a campaign rally in North Carolina. I approved the deal in concept. The new company, which will be called TikTok Global, has agreed to donate $5 billion in an educational fund, which Trump said would satisfy his demand that the government receive a payment from the deal. They're going to be setting up a very large fund, he said. That's their contribution that I've been asking for. So, once again, you guys, this is the vibe I caught the whole time. I don't think Trump was ever going to ban TikTok, because if he truly thought it was a national security threat, it would have been banned a long time ago. All right. So obviously he did he's been on the whole, like, you know, the China virus, the Chinese flu, whatever. We are at a cold war with China. Okay. So that's very obvious. Him and President Xi are butting heads. So he just wanted to get something out of this. He wanted to show that he has assertion and he is displaying dominance over China by getting them to comply with the rules that he's setting. So I do think that it was never, I do think that this is it's going exactly as he wanted it to. So good for him. He played this out. He played this smart. This is how he should have played it out. And again, with the ban, with the App Store ban, with him saying that the app was going to be unavailable for download, he did evoke. He put a little more rush on the decision. He put a little more urgency in the hands of the CCP, the Chinese government, whoever is making these decisions right now. Okay, so that said, they did get it done. I'm stoked on this because obviously my lady, who is currently painting a new painting that I will share here next week. She's huge on TikTok. She did start a YouTube channel as well. So I will actually post the painting. She's literally over there painting it right now, right behind. I will share that next week, but I will link her YouTube down below as well. Go show her some love there, even though she's not being booted off TikTok, thank God. I do still really want her to grow her YouTube channel, all right? So check her out down below, link down below. Okay, so I appreciate it if you do that. She'll be stoked as well. Tell her you're part of the Waves fam if you do. Moving on. IPO like 1999, so very bubble vibes. And you guys know that over the course of this entire rally, I viewed it as a bubble. I still view it as a bubble. But I think, to be completely honest, I have been swayed that this is just the beginning of probably the largest bubble that we're ever going to see in human history. First day returns for markets debuts at their highest level since the bubble, professor says, and that data doesn't include Snowflake and the rest of this week's big software debuts. Okay, so this data doesn't even include Snowflake, which is, you guys, I personally think Snowflake is going to be looked back on as probably the wackest event to have ever occurred in the history of the public markets. Just the mania that's going on. It perfectly sums up the state of the markets right now. So Snowflake is a perfect test group and a perfect look into the current state of the equity markets right now. As the importance of cloud software has grown in the global pandemic, cloud software companies have become the most stark example of IPOs reaching .com boom levels and beyond. This week saw stunning performance of our biggest software IPOs. On Wednesday, 2 cloud software companies debuted on a story day on Wall Street, ringing the bell on their respective exchanges virtually and seeing their shares soar in a way that would have stood out even in 1999. So once again, you guys, I listened to a lot of vets, podcasts, interviews, whatnot, with a lot of veteran traders, and pretty much all of them have said at some point in some whatever interview it is that I listened to, that this is very reminiscent. This time, this rally that we've been seeing over the past few months is extremely reminiscent to that of the tech bubble in 2000. Okay. So we all know what happened there. A lot of these companies were just slapping .com at the end of whatever their company was, really hopping onto the trend. You slap .com at the end of your company name, at the end of your ticker, your stock shoots up, your stock 2x's, 3x's. And there's just that mania. People don't know what they're buying. And obviously, Snowflake is a cool company, but I think the primary reason, obviously, Salesforce, man, Mark Benioff and Berkshire, Warren Buffett, they did get into this. Obviously, that's huge publicity for this company. They knew that if they had bought some, and word got out that they bought, which I think was their intention the whole time, if people know that they're buying, everyone respects their judgment, everyone thinks it's a good call, and they immediately make the load of money. So it's smart play, but again, they're like these people who are IPOing themselves are just taking advantage of the mania and just really people who don't really know what they're doing but are just throwing money into things. Okay, so this is huge for Snowflake. Congrats to them, but it's once again, it's just a perfect look into the current manic state of the equity markets. That's going to be interesting. We will see how Snowflake plays out next week, so stay tuned for that. Once again, here's everything Apple just announced. Not going to get too deep. I actually just want to talk to you guys about the Apple Plus bundle, or Apple One Services bundle, I'm sorry. So Apple on Tuesday announced a bunch of new hardware and some software. Here's some of the biggest announcements. If you guys haven't watched that, I do recommend you guys to go check it out. Big deal. So the Apple Watch Series 6 actually looks super sick. Apple Watch SE looks sick. I did mention just in the video I'm going to post tomorrow morning. So I actually just recorded this video talking about health. It's going to be titled Health is Wealth. I'm actually super proud of that video. It's probably the most proud I've been of a video that I've made in a long time. So I would really appreciate it if you guys stay tuned and check that out tomorrow morning when I post it. But yeah, talking about health is wealth anyway. I talk about how I have a Fitbit right now, but seeing this Apple Watch Series 6, seeing the Apple Watch SE is definitely bringing me over. Literally the only piece of tech that's not Apple, that should be Apple, is my Fitbit. And that's because I honestly love Fitbits. But this thing has a blood oximeter. It reads the blood oxygen levels in your blood. So that's sick if you're interested in biohacking like I am. So we'll definitely check that out. Nonetheless, iPads look pretty much exactly the same. Fitness and workout services are huge. So this could potentially be detrimental to a company like Peloton or something. I don't think the stock saw it. I think on Friday, Peloton was actually up. But keep in mind, you guys, Apple is really conquering the world. They deserve to be the most highly valued company in the public markets. Pushing $2 trillion now. I'm pretty sure they're floating around $2 trillion. That's for sure. But I mean, they're just dividing and conquering. Apple is a freaking force to be reckoned with. So Apple is definitely not nearly as overvalued as Tesla. All right, moving on. Once again, the Apple One Services bundle. We'll scroll down to that just because I feel like that's so freaking smart for them to do. It really is a tell as to Tim Cook as a CEO. So Steve Jobs was like the visionary. He made great products, but Tim Cook is just figuring out how he can milk that extra little bit of profit out of every existing customer, which is exactly what you should do as a CEO. So you can see here, Apple announces Apple One, its service bundle starting at $14.95 per month. So even this, you had Apple Music, Apple TV, cloud, and gaming for just $15. You paid $10 already for Apple Music, or I do at least. And like what, $5 for cloud or something. So this is brilliant. But then you get onto the Premier, which is news. So you get Apple Music, Apple TV, cloud store, probably a lot of cloud storage, and you get news. So news, for those of you who don't know, is extremely expensive if you actually want to subscribe to sites. Like Bloomberg is expensive, CNBC Prime is expensive. There's so many, news, subscribing to premium news sites is significantly more expensive than you'd expect. So I think Apple News by itself is close to that already if you want the premium, if you want a subscription to the premium outlets. So this is super worth it. I will 100% get this for $30 a month, and I bet a whole lot of other people will as well. So you just think like that. That is truly like boots on the ground thinking. Like if if you're going to subscribe to it, if you know people who are going to subscribe to it, Apple's going to be printing money with this one. So this, along with the fitness, are two actually very revolutionary things. I know I just roasted Tim Cook for just kind of milking, not really being a visionary, just milking profits, but he's kind of doing both. He's really pushing the button forward. So my props to Tim Cook. And once again, I do truly believe Apple deserves to be the most highly valued company in the world. All right, I think that's everything, you guys. Once again, 4-hour work week. That is the piece of content I'm recommending. I read this about 5 or 6 years ago now. I think I was like 19. I'm pretty sure I was like 19, maybe 20 years old when I read this for the first time. And I've been entrepreneurial for my entire life. I've been in and out a bit. Like, I was into e-commerce for a long time, pretty successful there. Had a pretty successful clothing company as well prior to getting into trading full time. And this book really helped me out. So 4-hour work week, escape the 9 to 5, live anywhere, enjoying the new rich. It is very, it's kind of a, trust me, you guys, it's not nearly as cheesy as as the title may sound. Like the 4-hour work week, it's not talking literally you work 4 hours a week. It's just prioritizing your time, batching your time, and doing the most with the time you have, getting the most results out of the least amount of time possible. So this is a book by Tim Ferriss. This is the book that really blew up Tim Ferriss. I'm sure many of you have heard of him. He has a great podcast called the Tim Ferriss Podcast. Pretty easy to find. But Tim Ferriss, I would definitely consider him a mentor of mine. This book is amazing, and his podcast is amazing as well. He had a recent one with Kelly Slater. That was actually really good. So you guys should go check that out if you're interested in podcasts at all. So that's a good piece of content as well. Check out his podcast. Probably one of the biggest podcasts in the world, I think. He's up there, definitely one of the OGs of the podcasting. So he's early on trends. And you guys, this book is, I think I'm pretty positive. Yeah, this book is one that I have linked down below all the time. So check it out. The link is down below. I'll put it to the top of the book list. But especially you guys, if you kind of want to, if you feel like you're getting stale, if you feel like you need something to just kind of invigorate you to take that extra step, especially right now, this is the perfect book for the stay-at-home, the Corona economy. So if you guys are looking to take an entrepreneurial step forward, and again, you guys, it's hard to explain. I wish I thought about how to articulate this better, but it really gets your mind working different. It makes the way you think about working and think about your life structure, more importantly, very differently. And that's very important. Just kind of breaking the constructs that you may have in your mind and being able to think outside of those constructs in a way that might be very productive. Okay. So that is why I highly recommend this book. And I gained so much value from this. I've read it twice over the past 5 years. Read it once again, like 5 or 6 years ago. Read it again a couple years ago, and it brought me equally as much value as it did the first time. So highly recommend that book. Once again, I'll check it out below. Please let me know what you guys are looking forward to next week, what happened this past week that you think we should have talked about, why you think it's important. Always love learning from you guys. Always love talking shop downstairs. So I'll see you down there. And until next time, you guys, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.